welcome back to my YouTube channel. It seemed like you really enjoyed my last video. If you don't know about it, it's 5 things that I absolutely hated about my Mazda MX5 RF. I'll put the link in the description below, or depending on how good my editing skills are, I'm going to put it up somewhere here. Now I'm going to be super original, and I'm going to do 5 things that I absolutely love about my Mazda MX5 RF. I know, super original. There's something wrong about this picture. Don't like where the car is. So with a bit of magic editing technique, I'm just going to move it in 3, 2, 1. Yeah, great editing. Now let's get into this video. First thing that I love about my Mazda MX5 RF is the RF portion, the hard top of the car. Now I absolutely love it, and I know the Mazda MX5 purists are going to pick up their pitchforks with this one and say, well, you can't put it down in a second and put it back up, and it adds so much weight and it ruins the 50-50 distribution of the car. Well, I don't give. First of all, that's 34 kg extra weight. Give me some laxatives, I can that out, all right? Second of all, it means it's better insulated, okay? Which means I can have a conversation with my friends. Okay, friend, but you get the point. It's a two-seater, all right? Additionally, the fact that it's better insulated than the soft top means that the interior cockpit stays warmer, and that's really important during the winter months for a brown man like me. Also, with a hard top, the car is more rigid than the soft top, so the car is better at cornering because it flexes less under the chassis. So have that, MX5 purist. So the second thing that I love about my Mazda MX5 RF is the exhaust. Oh my god, the exhaust. Now this car came stock from factory with the Scorpion exhaust, and it sounds good. Also, the reason why I bought this car, or the year why I bought this car, was it's a 2017 and it's an early 2017. In September, you got all the sort of PPF filters that were brought in, and this car does not need to have one, which means it sounds so much better. Okay, I'm going to insert a clip of it now. I do love the noise of the car. However, I have one gripe about it. I wish it was louder. Now, it might be because I'm in my ASBO period of owning the car and sort of my age, or maybe just because I'm a bit of a no, but seriously, jokes aside, I do want it to have a bit of like, so maybe pops and bangs, okay? Not like, but you know, more so like, you know, just a little bit, especially when you kind of get on it. I would like it to be a little bit more loud because it's just every other aspect of the car is so much fun. I just wish the exhaust noise was just a little bit more aggressive. Number 3 on the list of things that I love about this car is in here. The interior. Wow, is it a special place to be, and a humongous step up from the previous generations. I mean, everything feels premium and almost competing against sort of cars double the price of this. Now, I've driven a Porsche, and I would say we're kind of on the same realms, besides the cubbyhole. Now, I say this, and you probably don't know if you haven't watched my previous video, but I would say definitely watch the previous video because you'll find out why this is such a letdown. Such a letdown. Even the seat, they're Recaro seats. They're lined in Alcantara leather. So is sort of the dashboard and also the side door card. I mean, in a Mazda MX-5, like, that's crazy. Also with these seats, they're heated, which means that as long as it's not raining, it doesn't matter if it's cold. You can have the top down. Literally last night, I came back from a night out at 3 AM in the UK. And I just had the heated seats on, music blaring, top down. I was living my best life. It's honestly so nice to have heated seats with a convertible. So those perforations that you see in the headrest of the seat, those are speaker holes and also a mic. Now, whatever genius thought about putting a speaker and a mic in the headrest deserves a pay rise at Mazda, because when I have the top down and I'm driving on the motorway, people that I'm on the phone to can still hear me. I can still have a full-on conversation and I can hear them without having to scream. Also, because this is a limited edition version, it's got Bose speakers, so I think it's 10 speakers total. I love my music, and honestly, it's such a good system in this car. The subwoofer in it it's good enough as well, and honestly it just kind of elevates the driving experience of already a really good car. Fourth thing that comes on my list with the MX-5 is the vibes. Okay, now let me explain, because I understand that doesn't really make sense, but every time I've driven this car, I have bumped into people, been at sort of stoplights, and people have had like full-on conversations with me about my car. I usually sort of, well, I always play music when I'm driving, and there are people who give me a thumbs up, who sort of dance, who roll the windows down. Honestly, happens so often, like literally every time I've taken this car out. Also, what's mandatory is if you see another MX-5, you flash your lights and wave. Completely new to that world, but yeah, like literally it's an international thing, because I took my car to France and the exact same thing. Saw another MX-5 French car coming towards me, and again he sort of waved and flashed his lights at me. And that's all sort of the series of MX-5s. They all come under the same, it's just sort of like a cult, and I like being in that cult. I'm not gonna lie, it just makes you feel good, and I can't really explain it. You got to experience it, I think, to really know what I'm on about. So the other MX-5ers who obviously hopefully watching this video, put in the comments, you know, if you know what I'm on about. Right, so for my last thing that I absolutely love about my Mazda MX-5, now I couldn't do a list without mentioning this, because this is the sole reason why you drive a Mazda MX-5, and it's the driving experience. The gear shifts, oh, that's all I can say is, oh, I never understood it when people used to tell me, you know, they drive so well, they're amazing, because I used to look at them and I'm not gonna lie, I just thought, hairdresser's car, not really very powerful car, underpowered, slow. But by God, was I wrong, okay? And I'll admit it, I was wrong. Every aspect of driving, this car has conquered, okay? Like in terms of the gear shifts, it's just so notchy. And I just like changing gears for absolute no reason. It just feels so good. I drove both my cars before this were automatic. And I haven't driven manual in so long, and I'm so happy that I have bought a car, well, especially this car, as a manual, because I just don't think the experience would be the same. Also the fact that it's just so direct, the steering wheel, the way when you're driving, you can feel the road.
One eternity later,
when you're turning that steering wheel, and you can tell what that front wheel is doing, so it makes it really predictable, and you know, you're able to really cut corners at really fast pace. And now I understand why people buy Mazda MX-5s, right? You know, you really have to push them, and it really makes you as a driver, it pushes you as a driver to get the best out of this car. So I'm pretty sure with the ND variants, they've got more power, with the ND1, which is my car, at 160 brake, and ND2 at 184 brake. I know the previous generation NC had about 160 brake horsepower, but I'm pretty sure this had more torque. But I might be wrong, so just let me know in the comments below if I am. What I would like out of this car is maybe a little bit more power. I think sort of in the 250, 300 brake horsepower mark, this car would be an absolute weapon. And hopefully something that if I kept this car long term, I might do. But we'll have to see where this takes us. So if you've never driven a Mazda MX-5, what I would say is go down to your local dealership and go for a test drive. The experience is next to none. The only closest experience that I could say is driving a go-kart. This literally feels like a go-kart for the roads. It's so direct with the steering. The only drawback of that is when you're going for long drives, you can't drive with your legs, which you should not do, and something that I do not endorse, okay? And something that I have never done. But what I will say is when you are trying to use your legs to put steering inputs, such a small movement causes the car to veer. And so you can't really do it unless you're sort of driving straight.
So those are 5 things that I love about a Mazda MX5 RF. It was really difficult to pick those 5 things. There's so much that I loved about this car, especially over the last 5 to 6 months. It's been an absolute joy to own. Now, if you like this video, hit the like, subscribe, and hit the post notification button, because it helps me out to know that you're also enjoying the content. There'll be more content coming out the next few weeks to come, so you'll be seeing my face a lot more. Right, for now, KNG, Enzo, we out. Don't like where the car is, so with a bit of magic editing technique, I'm just gonna move it in 3, 2, 1. So the third thing that I love about my Mazda MX-5 is in here. That's locked.
Killed the car. Been videoing for too long, I've actually killed it. Okay.
My precious.
Oh, you're still here. Well, if you're still here, say, what are those?
Precious.